Did you know that the average American child visits the doctor over 6 times per year? Yet my kids barely step foot in a medical office except for their annual checkups? And what if I told you that there was a better way to keep your children naturally healthy without constantly reaching for medications or making endless trips to an urgent care? Today I'm sharing the exact system that my family uses to build a bulletproof immune system in our kids. And by the end of this video, you'll have a complete roadmap to transform your children's health naturally. Side-Eye Dad here. Welcome back to the channel. Before we dive in, I want to make something crystal clear. I'm not against modern medicine, especially when it's truly needed. And I'm not suggesting that you ignore serious health concerns. What I am sharing today is how we've created an environment where our kids rarely get sick in the first place. And when they do, their bodies are equipped to handle it naturally and effectively. Now, I wanted to share this because it's a topic that I get so many questions from family and friends. They're always asking, how do I keep my kids healthy without relying on medicine all the time? And as I stated before, my kids are thriving. We visit our pediatrician for the yearly checkups, but beyond that, we're rarely at the doctor. And no, this isn't luck or good genes. It's intentional choices that we've made about how we approach health in our home. So I'm going to break down exactly what we do, from how we handle fevers to what's in our fridge to the products we use in our home. And stick around, I'll be sharing some of my favorite brands and some resources at the end too. So let's dive in. First, let's talk about something controversial. We don't medicate fevers here. I know, it might sound a little scary, but hear me out. When your child's body raises its temperature, it's doing something brilliant. That fever is the immune system naturally responding to an invader. And that elevated temperature helps neutralize that foreign invader, which are viruses and bacteria, and they literally cannot survive at those higher temperatures. So when you immediately reach for fever reducers, you're essentially disabling your body's own defense mechanism. So you're telling your immune system, don't do your job. Now, obviously, if the fever is dangerously high for an extended period of time, or you see your child's in distress, you could work with your doctor, but for routine fevers, we let them do their work. We support the body through rest, hydration, and comfort, not suppression. And what I think you'll find is over time, your kids will rebound faster. My kids, they don't have fevers for longer than 24 hours, generally. And this single shift has made the biggest difference for us. And I've seen how my kids bounce back from illness and how strong their immune systems have become the more we've done this. Another question I get consistently is, what about vaccinations? And here's my take. This is your decision. I'm not here to tell you what to do. What I will say is this: do your research, lots of it, from multiple sources. Talk to practitioners who support your values. I refer to vaccinations as a one-way door decision, meaning like once you go through it, you can't easily go back. And that doesn't mean don't do it. It just means be fully informed before you make that choice, or the choice that you think is right for your family. Because whatever you decide, you want to own that decision with confidence, knowing that you did your research. I like to think about it like this. You go to the store and you're trying to put the best things into your body. Look at the ingredients on the package of what you're going to eat. You should be doing that on vaccinations as well. Now let's talk about something that might be the most important factor in keeping kids healthy: what they eat. Diet impacts everything about health. Here's what we prioritize. Quality matters. So organic vegetables always. We're trying to avoid pesticides and chemicals that burden the immune system. We always try to get grass-fed and finished beef because the omega-3s and 6 ratio matters, and factory farmed meat that's fed grains that ratio gets imbalanced. Pasture raised eggs, not just cage-free, pasture-raised, and no, not the Vital Farms. You got to do your research on that one. I'll also share some examples here of what our meals look like, although this is not every day. Our breakfast rotation is pancakes made the real way. I actually check out my recipe. I'll leave it in the link below. Eggs, cooked a variety of ways, put in grain-free tortillas. Things like siete almond flour tortillas are great. The right kinds of cheese, organic, raw cheese, no chemicals. Examples of this are like Italian or French cheeses, so like Reg Parm from Italy, Manchego from Spain. We do things like full fat homemade yogurt. I like making homemade. It's very cost effective. You also could do coconut yogurt. We're a big fan of Cocoyo, but in our house, but it's very pricey. If you're on a strict budget, make your own yogurt. Like I said, I actually could drop the link to my free yogurt recipe below. We're eating nuts and seeds and fruit, cereal, but the good kind. We're a big fan of Lovebird in my house. It's based on cassava, buckwheat, and they third-party tested for glyphosate, which is great. Lunch, we're eating eggs likely, or yogurt, depending on what we've eaten in the morning. I also love to make like little yogurt bowls for them that have yogurt, chopped up nuts, some hemp seeds, so it increases the protein. They'll eat vegetables with little guac packets, celery with almond butter. We're a big fan of Barney butter in our house, which is just blanched almonds that's made into a butter. Also a big fan of Whole Foods. There's machines there. You could just grind up the almonds. It's delicious and there's nothing in it but almonds. But you could also make it at home. You could just get almonds and just put it in a high-powered blender like a Blendtec or a Vitamix, and you can make your own almond butter at home. Also, they'll eat nuts and seeds too at lunch. For dinners, usually we're doing like pasture-raised chicken, and we do a lot of seasonings too. So we'll do like salt, pepper, lemon pepper, or we'll do like clean sauces from companies like Primal Kitchen or Noble Made. These are like all real ingredients. They're not going to stay in your fridge for 12 months. Like, you got to use it because it's going to go bad. We'll do grass-fed steaks. We'll do sweet potatoes roasted. We'll do basmati rice pressure cooked. Sometimes they'll eat a little bit of our chopped salad that I make, roasted broccoli and other roasted vegetables. Those are just some ideas, but the key is real food, minimal processing, maximize nutrition. We're giving their bodies the building blocks that they need to be strong, and which builds the immune system. It balances hormones, it creates a healthy brain, and it creates a resilient body. Here's something else after diet that most people don't think about. Your kids' health isn't just about what goes in their bodies, but it's also about what doesn't. So we've dramatically reduced our toxic load, and it's made a measurable difference. So here's some of the things we eliminated. On the personal care side, we use lotions without fragrances because the fragrances are endocrine disruptors. So it's just clean, simple skincare only. Household products, we don't wash clothes with Tide or conventional detergents. We don't wash dishes with harsh chemical soaps. We don't clean with traditional chemical cleaners. What we use instead are things like vinegar, baking soda. We use Force of Nature, which is actually a company that creates a cleaning solution that is something that's found in the body that kills off. It's like 99.99% effective in killing off bacteria, viruses, and such. And I could drop a link below to their cleaning solution. But these are simple and effective alternatives that don't burden the detoxification system of the human body. You got to think about it. Your skin is your largest organ, so everything you put on your skin gets absorbed. Your kids are smaller, so their detox systems are still developing, and they're actually more vulnerable to these exposures. So when you reduce the toxic load from environmental sources, you free up your body's resources to focus on the real threats, like actual viruses and bacteria. The thing I'd say in addition to this is smart swaps. I think it was Men's Health that had the whole this, eat this, not that. So it's like this, not that when it comes to treats or snacks. So here's the thing. We're realistic parents, right? Kids want candy, kids want treats, and the answer isn't deprivation. It's better options. So here's some of our favorite swaps. We swap out candy without refined sugar. So Lily's chocolate has a lot of things sweetened with stevia and some erythritol. Unreal is a brand that has candy with no artificial dyes. They have better ingredients. I think a lot of their stuff is sweetened with coconut sugar. And sometimes we give them just whole food based treats, which is just rooted in fruit, like fruit bars and stuff like that. But we still let them be kids. We let them celebrate. We just make choices that support their bodies instead of undermining them. And we let them make the choices. And the small swaps compound over time, and your kids won't feel deprived. And believe it or not, their taste buds will actually start preferring real food over the hyper processed junk. Because here's what I found. Sometimes there's nothing you can do. So we'll just let them eat whatever's there, like that cake that has all the bad ingredients in it. And sometimes it ends in a stomach ache. Now, what's interesting, if that happens, is they realize it. And the next time the opportunity comes up, they decline. And it's actually hilarious when it happens for the first time. But the reality is you're helping them get in tune with their body, and they're building this relationship with their body at a young age. And it's really amazing to see. Now, in addition to those things, nature is kind of our medicine cabinet, if you will. And this will get into some of the herbs and tinctures and stuff, but it starts with prevention, right? So we use a saline nasal spray before we go into public or parties, especially when it's like the peak sick season. And when we return home, we do this exact same thing. And this helps ward off replication of viruses in your nose, because oftentimes they're there for replicating for days. They need this dry, warm place. So this kills the viruses before they get a chance to replicate. What's interesting, if you're very interested about this, you can look up Japanese culture. You'll be fascinated. They do like a saltwater gargle rinse and a spray through their nose every time they go out into public. And their sickness rates are abnormally low. Now, the goal is to never get sick. I mean, that's unrealistic, right? Because you're going to get sick. The goal is to just help the body fight efficiently and recover quickly. So then the question becomes, what do we do when the kids aren't feeling well? This is where the herbs, the tinctures, and the targeted vitamins come in. And these support the body's natural healing process instead of suppressing symptoms. So here's some of our go-to brands. Dr. Green Mom, this is our preventative protocol. We use this to keep the immune system strong before anyone gets sick and support it. And then when the kids do get sick, even myself, they have some tinctures for adults. We use it to help support the immune system, to help fight the infection or whatever's going on. Mamabird Wellness, they have incredible multivitamins that are methylated, which is important, especially if your kids have gene mutations, like for instance, an MTHR mutation. And that mutation is the ability for a child or a person to translate or convert folate to the usable form of methylfolate so that your body can actually consume that vitamin. And so I think genetic testing is something that's really underrated and should be done at a young age. My kids are genetic tested, so we understand where their weaknesses are, and using methylated vitamins actually helps fulfill those nutritional deficiencies. Now, both of those companies I just outlined, Dr. Green Mom and Mamabird Wellness, they understand functional nutrition principles, and they're working with the body's innate healing wisdom, not against it. We also keep some simple herbs on hand, like elderberry is huge. There's a lot of studies on elderberry and how it can actually help rebound from being sick, also prevent sickness. Vitamin D as well, zinc, magnesium, and we also keep some herbal teas. And yes, my kids do drink herbal teas. What we do, we usually don't give it to them hot, obviously. We let them cool, we put it in some of their cups and they drink it and they love it. So back to the big picture, right? It all comes down to supporting these building blocks of life through nutrition and reducing toxic burdens. And I would say it's these two factors. It's adding in nutrition and removing toxins, and those two things work together to help your children thrive, not just survive. And again, this isn't about perfection, right? Like, we are not perfect. It's just about progress. You start with small steps. You implement the changes over weeks, not days, even months, right? You pick one thing from today's video. Maybe you start doing organic vegetables. Maybe you switch your family's laundry detergent. Maybe you buy one herbal remedy to have on hand, right? Now that becomes actions. The actions become habits. The habits become automatic. And before you know it, you've completely transformed your family's health trajectory. The compound effect of these choices is so powerful. Your kids deserve bodies that work for them, and you have more control over their health than you've been led to believe. Now, if this video resonated with you, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and if you have a comment of anything you've implemented and it worked, please leave it. Also, if you have a topic that you want me to dive deep into in the future, please also leave that in the comments. And I'll just end with, remember, small steps compounded over time create extraordinary results. So start small, but start today. I'll see you in the next video.